Hi, in this video, we're going to take a look at how we can use the function of changing a focus person in order to attach other people down here in the record, which are a generation above or below. So, we have looked at this whole family, and these are all a complete match. We are going to have Goldie May here attach all of these records for us while we talk about this for a second. So, as we are looking at this record, we see three people on the left hand side who are related, and we'll take a look at them in the census here in a second. But we are certain that these are matches that fit into the tree. So, let's look at Catherine, Patrick, and Mary here in the census image itself so that we can make sure we get these attached properly. Okay, so here we have the Rowley family with all of their kids that we have just attached. And there are three other people listed in their household. And here we have a mother-in-law, a brother, and a sister-in-law. So they are all related. Now this Catherine Hart is the mother-in-law, and Bernard's wife is Bridget Hart. So let's go ahead and attach that one first. So we're going to change the focus person. First, let me show you why. So here's Bernard Rowley, and it lists his parents, and we want to get to her parents. So we need to change the focus person to be her so that we're looking at her side of the family. And we want to make sure to do this on the left-hand side. There's an identical, not identical, it looks identical, change focus person button here in the right hand column, but that's going to do very different things. So let's change that here. All right, so the first thing that we want to look at after we've changed the focus person is just verify really quickly that the left hand focus person is a match for the right hand focus person, because sometimes that can get jostled, especially if you've used the left or the right when it should have been the other way around. All right, so we have Bridget Rowley, Bridget Hart, and we have Catherine Hart. This is her married name and her maiden name of Coyle. She's already listed in the tree with very similar dates, born in Ireland and immigrated here to the States. So we are confident enough to go ahead and compare this match and attach it into the tree. Now, looking down at the other two, when we changed the focus person, it brought Mary up into this category. But look at the dates. These are very off. So Mary Hart, 1823, is trying to be a sibling with all of these people in the 60s and 70s. We have a big generation gap there. So I'm going to pull her back down into the other part until we can verify who exactly she is and where she fits. But the other person here, Patrick Rowley, remember he was listed as a brother. He's not a brother to these Harts, he's a brother to this Rowley family. So we need to change the focus person back to Bernard. Bernard Rowley. And we have parents for Bernard, but we don't have any siblings listed for him. So we are going to drag him up there and just verify his information really quick. 1862, is that similar to, like, what could they possibly be siblings? Yes, 66, 62, very good match for a sibling. We're going to go ahead and enter him in as a new person and attach that record. So it's just this Mary Hart that is hanging out here. So let's go get familiar with the family. So now that the focus person is Bridget again, we can see her mother, Catherine Hart, here, and this Mary Hart is definitely not one of Bridget's siblings. The years are very off, but she possibly could be a sibling from a generation back. So if we change the focus person to Bridget's mother, Catherine, we see that it would not be a sibling to Catherine because her maiden name was Coyle, not Hart. So we want to change it to her husband, Hugh. All right. So ignore this part up here for a second where these are kind of mismatched. Since Hugh is not listed in this census, he doesn't have a match to pull in here, and the focus person always has to have a match. So we can still see that Hugh has his children listed here, but he does not have any siblings listed, nor any parents. So this is probably our best bet to try to figure out if Mary belongs as a sister to Hugh. So let's pull up Hugh in a separate window that might match this up for us. There is not. There are 5 sources, and they are all attached completely. So we just don't know enough information at this point without a lot of further research to successfully match up Mary Hart. So let's go back and look at the census and just take a look again really quick as what she was listed as. Mary Hart, listed as a sister-in-law. So she could be his wife Bridget's sister-in-law, but she's 87 years old and 45. I mean, that's a pretty wide age gap, and it doesn't match any of Bridget's other siblings. They don't seem to span that many years. So I would assume that we are taking a look at a very wide generation gap where Mary Hart is actually a sister-in-law to the mother-in-law, but without any further records to fully corroborate that, I would just leave her as is, unattached for now, because she clearly is not this one. But another thing to look at is, was the handwriting illegible in the age column for that individual? Because I've seen that sometimes where they just wrote an age in there and it was either indexed incorrectly or it was just kind of illegible. And so maybe it's not this 1823 estimate that Family Search gives, but that would be something to take a look at and see. It would really help in distinguishing the generations, etc. But this one clearly says 87. Unless by some chance that could be distinguished as a 37, which handily we have another handwriting right underneath it that does not look at all like that. So these 8s are written very stylistically, apart from those 3s. I highly doubt it. So my best guess is that Mary is indeed a sister-in-law to the mother-in-law of this family. So we'll just leave that one right there as is. We've attached as many as we can, and that will show how to change the focus person in order to successfully attach everyone on the left that we can to the people on the right.